Hi guys, it's Robin here from Win with Robin and 22nd Century Gold. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this video from. And today I want to talk about financial education, due diligence and homework, the scourge, the dreaded homework. And have you done your homework about your online business? Now, I've been offline in business for many decades and online for about 5 years. I have a financial background, so I've seen the nitty-gritty about what makes a business successful or not. And we all know that well-worn phrase that 97% of online businesses fail. Well, you might be shocked to know that that applies to offline businesses as well. You know, most businesses fail, and after all these years in business, I've seen a pattern to this, and there's one very good reason why businesses don't thrive and don't even survive, and that is down to a real lack of financial education. People not doing their homework about their business before they get involved in it. The fancy word might be due diligence, or due diligence, as you would say over the pond. Not finding out about what business you're getting into or what industry you're getting into before you jump in. Pressing that button when you're all excited because you've just watched a presentation, or somebody's phoned you up and you've caught that enthusiasm from them, and you've decided to go all into some new fad online business without really doing your homework, without thinking about it. And you'll see online every day, you'll see lots and lots of examples of that. Right now it might be cannabis oil and all that sort of thing, and there are all these different products: protein shakes, miracle weight loss cures, skin creams to make you look younger, all that kind of stuff. Very, very popular for online businesses. You've got to think about it. You've got to think, what's the longevity of this business? How long has it been in business for? And how long will it stay in business once you put all your efforts and your money into it? Or is it a flash in the pan business? One of the biggest problems with even a successful business is, if it isn't a long lasting business, then you're just going to be jumping from one thing to another. And that's what we see people doing all the time. They jump from one opportunity to another, like fruit flies, instead of being like an oak tree and planting roots down and making a success. So what are the things you've got to look out for? Well, protein shakes, all these kind of fancy herbal juice drinks, all that sort of thing. They can be sometimes a victim of their own success. You've got to think, is your product or service going to be something people want for a long time? Way back in the mists of time, I had a successful health club and gym business, wellness industry business. And at one point I was fitness professional of the year. I was doing really well, getting results for my clients. We had a fantastic 6-week program with guaranteed results. And it was working. It was really working for people. They were shed loads of weight, and I didn't have to sell anything to them. They were queuing up at the door. And it was very good for getting people to take up a membership as well. But the big problem with things like wellness is that once people get well, once they lose that £100, once they get married, once they fit into that little black dress or whatever, then they don't need you anymore. All these vitamin juice drinks and herbal this and organic that. Yeah, they can be great, and they might have a grain of scientific benefit in them, but you'll get somebody going off on vacation and they forget to buy their herbal stuff, and then they realize that when they come back they feel just as good as they did before, and it's a waste of money. Okay, so you've got to look at the product or the service that you're getting involved with and think, how long is this going to last for? Is this worth me investing my time and my money in? Okay, because it's a huge problem. The other one is, with a lot of these online opportunities, is the competition. Is it high competition or low competition? Are there a lot of other people doing it? To go back to the sort of wellness industry and all these, fad products, you could be promoting some, wheat-free product or something, but if there's thousands and thousands of other people doing it, what's to stop you just being like one sheaf of corn in a 10,000 hectare field of corn? Nobody's going to notice you. How are you going to stand out amongst all these other people who are just promoting the same thing? So again, you've got to weigh up that. Do your homework, look into it, spend some time looking at it. So shelf life is really important. So think about that. Think about it hard before you get involved. Otherwise, you're going to be selling a different thing every week, a different month. Now, I'm not a salesman at all. I'm involved with businesses that I don't have to sell anything. And what you'll find when you start your online venture, or you're thinking about it, or you're maybe been in business for a while, you'll get people trying to sell you things all the time. You'll get all these gurus, all these so-called experts trying to sell you all these things that they say you need to make your online business a success. You'll hear all these things like SEO, traffic, leads, conversions, funnels, how to get more prospects, how to convert, how to, all these gizmos and tricks, messenger bots, all these latest things that are going to make your business, successful. But do you really need these things? Do you really need all these, what they call shiny objects? Well, you need a couple of things. True, you need to have a website, probably. You probably need to have an autoresponder so you can gather, leads, have a mailing list so you can get back to people. And you need to have some kind of tracking. Nobody thinks about that. Nobody tells you about that. You need to track your activities online so you know what's successful and what's not, what's profitable and what's not. That leads me on to the next thing about your business and doing your homework. It's the finance, the numbers, the money behind it. Will all these gizmos that you're buying make you a success? Probably not, unless you've considered the numbers. Okay, so you've done your homework about the longevity of this business. You've worked out that, okay, it might be competitive, but you can still make a go of it. You've worked out the people behind it are genuine. You've worked out it's not a fad that's going to disappear tomorrow. So far, so good. But then you have to think about the numbers of it. I was an accountant for too many years, to be honest. And the number one thing that causes most businesses to fail, and that's from a one-man business all the way up to a multinational. And I've worked for all of those sizes of businesses. The number one thing that causes them to fail is cash flow. Okay, if businesses run out of cash, they are finished. Doesn't matter how big they are. If the bank sees you've got no cash, they will close the door. So you need to look at this kind of business that you're getting involved in and think, what do I have to do to make this work? What do I have to sell? How much do I have to sell? What are the numbers? How quickly do I get paid? My business that I'm with now, my gold business, we get paid every week. But I've seen affiliate businesses and online ventures where it can be 6 weeks before you get paid. So there you go. You spend a fortune on solo ads. You get up into the leaderboards and you think this is great. And I've been on the leaderboards many times with affiliate companies. It doesn't always mean that much. Okay, so there you are on the leaderboard. You get these leads come in and some of them might turn into sales and that might turn into money. A lot of it won't. And that money you might not get for 6 weeks. In the meantime, what are you going to live on? How are you going to afford to pay for any more solo ads? So what happens is you drop back down off the affiliate leaderboards and you disappear again. And then you think, oh, how am I going to get more sales? I can't get anybody's attention. So you get disgruntled, you get disheartened, and you leave and you go and try something else. And this is what happens again and again and again. So for example, a weekly paid business, like my gold business, is fantastic because the cash is always there. You can have good weeks and bad weeks, but it's coming in all the time. We also get paid monthly too. We have umpteen different ways that we get paid. So cash is never an issue. Okay, so that is so important to consider. And then that leads me to another thing about online businesses. Most of you are just chasing commission and chasing income. That's all you're doing. And again, you can have a good month and you think, this is great, everything in the garden is rosy. But then the following month might not be so good. Last month, for example, I had one of my best ever online months. In fact, if I was one of those type of guys, I would be promoting myself as a six-figure earner because last month was that kind of success and it was fantastic. But, you know, I'm old enough and sensible enough to know that I don't have that kind of success every month. So I'm not going to bandy myself around as a six-figure earner. But with any online business like that, if you have a good month, great. You take that money. Hopefully, you save some of it. But usually, you end up using it to buy more adverts and to scale your business up. That's what the gurus tell you. And, you know, that's okay up to a point. Scale your business up. Spend more and more money on your business. Don't pay yourself anything. And then the following month, yes, you might have another good month, but you also might have a bad month. And then you're back to square one again. And that is the problem with chasing income all the time. You're back to square one every single month. Now with my business, my gold business, yes, we want to have an income and we get paid weekly, as I said. That's great. But we're also building an asset. Part of what we do gives us gold, helps us accrue gold every month, every week even, and also gold-backed asset coins, digital coins that are backed by real gold. And these, especially in a launch phase, which my gold business is launching banks all around the world, ATM machines. So we are, yes, earning income every week and every month, but we're also building up an asset so that if we had a bad month, if we had a bad 6 months, if we stopped doing it altogether, we would still have this asset that we have built up. And you can redeem that asset. You can change it back into worthless paper money anytime you like, easy as the click of a button. So we're not going back at the beginning of every month, first of the month, oh, here we go again, start again, see what we can scratch and build up in sales and have nothing at the end because we've spent all that money again. Okay, we have real assets that build up and build up and build up. And that is what rich people do. Let's be honest. Rich people build assets. Poor people just chase income. So I want you to think really careful about that. You know, hopefully this has, you know, been an education today. And then the very last thing I want to talk about is this thing about gold and paper money and you know, how do you get your money back or why would you want to do that? I haven't redeemed any of my gold since I started my gold saving business because, to be honest, why would I? Okay, why would I do that? Gold is much more useful to me than paper money right now because gold holds its value. If back in the 1970s when I was still a schoolboy, if I had been lucky enough to have $100,000 in cash and I'd stuck it in a vault, just put it away, safe as anything, and left it there until now, it would be, I would still have $100,000 in cash, take it back out of the safe again, no problem there, but its purchasing power is worth about $16,000. That's how much paper money has devalued since I was a schoolboy, okay? But if I had been lucky enough to have $100,000 worth of gold in the 1970s and put it in a vault and left it just the same as the money, taking it back out now, that gold would be worth $4 million. Okay, now I'm not a young man, but I'm not that old. You know, my school days weren't that long ago. You know, so you could still take gold today and potentially see that value rise as much as that. Okay, now we all know the world at the moment is in a total turmoil, especially here in Britain and in Europe. And I've seen already that some of our gold-backed asset coins are going up in value. There's every reason to believe that the world is in a financial difficulty at the moment. We're saddled by debt. America, UK, most of Europe, most of the world are heavily laden with debt at the moment, and that is eventually, like a house of cards, is going to topple. And what happens when that happens? Gold goes up in value. So I'm not going to be cashing in my gold for paper money any day now. And if you have any sense and you do your due diligence, you get some financial education, and we can help you with that at 22ndcenturygold.com. Pop over to our website, find us on Facebook, Gold 4U, gold number 4U. You find us on Facebook. Get some financial education. Watch some videos on YouTube. Just learn about money, where money came from, what money is, and what's going to happen with money. Find out about gold, and get involved, and do your due diligence. Find out all about Karatbars, and find all about how old the company is and how asset rich it is, why there are so many people now so excited about it. Do all that, do your homework, and then find our link and join us today, because honestly, this is a very, very successful business. Its longevity is already proven. It's got a shelf life. Well, let's face it, gold has been around for 5,000 years. So in terms of shelf life, there ain't anything going to be better than gold. So that's it. That's all from me today. Hopefully you've got some value from this. Tell your friends, pop over and visit us at 22ndcenturygold.com. And that's all from me, Robin, on the west coast of Scotland. Have a great Friday and enjoy your weekend.